let's make lemonade. Okay. Let's go to work.
That's the signal! Go! 6! It's beautiful! Mother Nature just pissed her pants, dude!
Wake up and hit the ground running. It's The Rush, presented by Willis Auto, with Travis Justice and Ross Peterson bringing you raw, unfiltered, and unapologetic talk about sports, life, and everything else that matters. No filtered, no fluff, just The Rush.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Rush Radio Show, powered by Willis Automotive. Happy Tuesday to you. If you're listening on the audio stream at therushladio.com and the Rush Radio Android app and the TuneIn app, very much appreciated. Go ahead and hit that favorite so we're in your car each and every time you pull up the app. If you're watching on YouTube this morning, hit that subscribe button, give this video a like, and, of course, start leaving your comments in the comment section. And you can follow us on X, Facebook, and Instagram. Good morning, Ross Peterson. You look tired, man. You look really, really tired.
Oh, I am pretty tired. Last night was a marathon. Holy cow. I didn't stay up for the whole game, but I stayed up a lot later than I normally would have watching baseball and enjoyed every minute of it. Fun baseball game. And then I woke up at Trev, I don't even remember what time it was. 2 a.m, something like that. And I happened to, in that fog rollover, I saw Jack Whitford had a tweet that said, "What a game. Can't believe this is still going." And I was like, no way. Clicked on the game and saw Vlad Guerrero catch a pop fly to end the 16th inning. And I thought, I can't stay awake. I feel like it was 2 a.m, something like that.
Well, the game went 6 hours and 39 minutes. And we're talking about Game 3 of the World Series, which the Dodgers won last night, 6-5 over Toronto in 18 innings. 18 innings. Now, if you're on the West Coast, that's a little more palatable to stay up.
Yeah.
If you're on the East Coast, if you're in New York City, if you're in the Eastern Time Zone, I don't know how in the world you made it till the end of the game.
Oh, it's 4 a.m.
Full confession here. I didn't make it to the end of the game. I think when I finally dozed off, it was 4-3 Toronto at that point, right? You're just like, okay, how can I keep going? And then you wake up this morning and you're like, that thing went 18 innings?
And a great baseball game. Back and forth, and back and forth for the first 9 innings, and then one run over the second 9 innings. Yeah, dude, classic. Shohei Ohtani broke a record in the 7th inning last night. Didn't break a record, tied a record. He's the second player ever to have 4 extra base hits in one World Series game. The other guy to do it did it in the early 1900s. Shohei Ohtani, dude, unreal. I don't even know the words for it anymore. He's just incredible. Incredible is what he is.
Now, and we'll get into some of the numbers with Shohei Ohtani, but how about Freddie Freeman? That dude just delivers in the clutch. Shohei Ohtani is consistent. Freddie Freeman just seems to be the big, the grand slam, the walk-offs. He had another walk-off last night. Freddie Freeman, and I was watching ESPN this morning, and they asked Dave Roberts before the game, if you need a batter who is in your lineup in a must-hit situation, who is it? And Dave Roberts was like, "Oh, it's Freddie Freeman." This was before the game.
Yeah,
and Fred, yeah, very, very good pick. It's all subjective. We haven't seen every World Series game in history, but do you think last night goes down as the greatest World Series game in history, if not one of the greatest?
Maybe one of. It could maybe fit into that category. Not greatest game in World Series history. Greatest game in World Series history is going to be maybe when David Freese hits the home run. It's going to be a Joe Carter. You got a walk-off last night. That's amazing. You can't have an 18-inning game go down as your greatest game ever. That's just not. It's an anomaly. There's a lot of things about it. That doesn't make it a great game just because it goes 18 innings. In fact, it probably takes away from it a little bit because of this. People didn't get to watch it. And so that's the only thing. Again, I'm not trying to poo-poo it last night. It just doesn't fit into that category Greatest games ever have to be one that there's a collective consciousness watching it. That doesn't mean, again, none of those are individual qualifiers. Because people watch it doesn't make it a great game. Because it's a 9-inning game doesn't make it that. There have been a lot of games that I would put ahead of this one as greatest game ever.
Would you agree with this, though? And I'm just asking the question just for simple conversation and debate. Is that this will be talked about a lot today. It will give a boost for the rest of the World Series, or at least Game 4 tonight, because people are like, oh, my God, this is one hell of a series. Yeah. And so more people, there may be more eyes on Game 4 tonight. First, Shohei Ohtani's pitching tonight, so that
you've got no NFL competing with you tonight, which I think is big. Also, you'll get a lot more eyeballs, but yeah, so it'll help out tonight. Definitely, it should help the rest of the series. They're Toronto showing they deserve to be here. They deserve to be in that conversation. They're right there with the Dodgers. I hope that they're able to keep it as a series, because there's still that possibility we talked about yesterday that the Dodgers end up winning this thing in 5 games. But especially with Ohtani on the mound tonight, man, he's incredible. He's just – there's a part of me that thinks, man, God, I wonder if he's on something. He's that much better than everybody else. 4 extra base hits by the 7th inning, and then somebody wrote in that he set another record. Let's see. I just saw this scroll across that. There was another record last night. In like the 14th inning, he reached base safely 8 times in one game, because after his 4 extra base hits and by the 7th inning, he was then walked 4 more times or 5 more times.
5. So he was actually on base 9 times. Yeah. So he got on base 9 times safely last night.
That's insane.
And it is incredible. And it just... You sit there and go, I actually had a friend who I got on Facebook this morning, was at the game last night. He was at Chavez Ravine last night. And he posted a picture in the 14th inning. He goes, I've never been part of a 14th inning stretch. So they actually did take me out to the ball game again in the 14th inning.
Isn't that great?
Who would have thought you would have got a double header last night in Game 3 of the World Series?
I've been at an iCubs game where we did a 14th inning stretch. I remember it was a Sunday day game, and they had to make an announcement. They came on the PA and said, in like the 17th inning, they came on and said, the away team has to get on a plane. This will be the last inning. Whether it's a tied at the end of the 17th inning, whatever, the game will be over because the away team has to get to the airport.
I don't know the answer to this, and we could probably do some investigation real quick. But let's say this was actually played in Toronto on the Eastern time zone. Would they have said, hey, we got to pause this and start the next day? Because that would have been really late.
The only time they've done that in baseball history is because of lights or lack of lights.
Lack of lights?
But I don't think so. I think they would have kept playing all the way through.
Let's go through some of the numbers from last night, because I think I think it's impressive. Let's just get your take on it. You had 44 combined players last night. 44. What's a roster size of a Major League Baseball team? Isn't it like
24 is the postseason roster?
24.
Yeah.
So of the 48 available, 44 played last night. And if you're a manager, now you start looking at, okay, who can throw? Who's available to pitch? Who's available to do anything? Your substitutions, your pinch. I mean, you're like, okay.
How many pitchers pitched last night?
It was a combined 19, I believe. It was either 10 for Toronto or 10 for Los Angeles, and then 9 the other way. So I think there was a combined 19 pitchers last night. Incredible numbers right there. 37 combined base runners. 37 combined base runners. 19 combined pitchers. How many pitches do you think were thrown in last night's game? Between 19 pitchers combined, how many pitches were thrown last night?
500.
609 pitches last night. 609 pitches last night.
Plate appearances?
Plate appearances. 153 plate appearances.
That's amazing. That's incredible. Yeah, but I don't think necessarily good. 26 players, Coach Hurstman says in the postseason rosters. Maximum 13 pitchers. So the Dodgers left 3 arms for today that didn't throw. I mean, they'll be able to go back to a lot of those guys that they used in those first 9 innings because some of them just threw an inning. Yeah, I don't think it. I don't know, Travis. You asked, does it make more people want to watch tonight? I don't know. I really don't. Because there could be some people that look at it and go, yeah, I'm not signing up for a 6-hour commitment.
Hell, there were times when baseball was a 6-hour commitment at a 9-inning game.
Yeah, right. Right, been there.
So, gosh. Yeah, I mean, I think it's cool that it happens once. It would not be cool to happen multiple times.
No,
I mean,
no.
you like these close games, and I'm sitting here watching all the post games coverage and stuff. But I do think it's a shot in the arm for baseball. It will garner some more eyeballs tonight. But 153 plate appearances, 19 combined pitchers, 609 pitchers, 37 combined base runners. Some great defensive plays. Vlad Guerrero had a shot over to third that just, and Dave Roberts knew it was an out to start with. Shohei Ohtani's going to second at one time, stepped off the bag, Ross.
Yep,
and they got him out. You know,
saw Vlad make saw a couple great defensive plays. Dodgers cut down a runner at the plate that would have been the go-ahead run in the 8th or 9th inning. I don't even remember at what point in the game these things happened. There were so many fun plays, dynamic plays, moments where you thought, all right, here we go. Every time Ohtani came to the plate, it was like, all right, he's going to bust this thing open. Travis, did you see at one point was it 8 straight at-bats had been extra base hits, and 6 of them were home runs?
Yeah, because he had 2 home runs yesterday. Wow.
So,
just
18 innings. I don't know. Will more people watch tonight? Does it help the rest of this? I don't know. I don't know what it'll do, how people react to it. I'll be watching, but I was going to watch either way.
So Tony says Ohtani has reached Barry Bonds' performance level at the plate. Screw it, just walk him.
That's what they did for the last half of the game. That's what they did.
They just said, put him on first. We don't care. We're not going to let him beat us. And that's a strategy. Now, as a fan, you want to see your guy hit. I mean, when Barry Bonds was getting walked all the time, we were like, no, we want to see if he hits a home run. But you're out there to win a World Series, and you're like, this guy's not going to beat us.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just the strategy. Yeah. So, man, just absolutely incredible. Just a performance of epic proportions last night. Again, 18 innings, way too late for me. Way too late for Ross. Was in and out. He was, it's up. But so yeah, there you go. Game 3 was full of excitement. Coming up a little bit later on in the show, Joe Woodley, head coach of the Drake Bulldogs, is going to be joining us to talk about Drake, who is now alone in first place in the Pioneer Football League. They've won, I believe, 4 in a row. Home this weekend to play Butler. So Joe Woodley going to join us at 7:30. I have a real estate question for you.
Oh, okay.
If I can ask you. Because I'm curious. I'm curious how all this works, and I'm sure you have to deal with it all the time. Are people who, and I don't think you're a fan of it, because I think you think they've ruined the market. Are these people who come in and want to buy houses and then either turn them into rental properties or cash now stuff? But I always thought these guys were like flippers. They would go in and find distressed properties and
improve them and sell them,
and improve them and sell them.
That's noble and helps the community.
Yes.
So
I got a postcard yesterday. I was surprised and don't take this the wrong way, because it's going to sound like I'm saying something a little braggadocious. I was surprised to get a postcard in the mail yesterday in what I consider an affluent neighborhood. Would you call my neighborhood an affluent neighborhood?
Home, yeah.
Yes. That, hey, I drove. It's one of these, looks handwritten, but you can tell it's produced.
They want to buy your house for the assessed value?
Well, they're like, hey, I drove by your home at said address, and I didn't know who to talk to, so I would send. So this is the best way. Are you interested in selling your home? And I'm like, usually a realtor would just walk up and say, hey, you know what? I'm in the neighborhood. Would you be interested in, this? So I was in a feisty mood yesterday. So I went ahead and texted him. I said, sure, I'm interested in selling my home. He goes, oh, okay. What was the address again? We send out a lot of postcards. So I sent him. He goes, what are you asking? I said, $700,000, which is way above he goes, yeah, we're going to be way off on that. What's the strategy there? They just go in and ask you for what the tax assessed value is of the house or
a little less. Yeah. There's all sorts of ways to figure out what a house is actually worth besides the assessed value or the Zestimate or all that stuff. And yeah, Trav, who knows whether they were buying it to have as part of their inventory to make a rental, or whether they were actually just realtors trying to get more business. And that's a very common way for realtors to get business, is to send out mailers that say, hey, if you want to sell your home, call me. I get stuff I'll get checks. I swear to God, they'll mail like a fake check that when you read it, it's like, this is basically an offer to buy your house. If you go into, this is not a real check, but this represents what we would cut to you to take the house if you want to get rid of it.
Now, if you send out a mailer, you're doing that like on a Ross Peterson postcard, though, right? You're saying you're with agency.
Like, hey, I'm a real estate agent, and if you are thinking of buying or selling your home, I'd love to represent you. I'll save you money, and I can help represent you to buy your new house. That's what mine would basically say. Now, you started to ask a question there that I'd like to answer. Okay.
Okay.
And that's about rental properties. We have a lot of people in our communities that own several rental properties. It's a great thing that you got mailbox money. You've mastered the Dave Ramsey financial part of it, right? Congratulations. If you have 5 rentals, I don't think much of that. Once we get people that start to own 20 homes, and again, good for you. Good for you. That's amazing. You have really done well with yourself. You've invested a lot in property. That's awesome. I don't knock your hustle by any stretch. I do recognize, as a realtor that helps out a lot of first-time buyers, you're destroying our communities.
Because it's hard for those first-time buyers to even get a house.
It's not hard. It's impossible. It's impossible. All of the first-time home buyer inventory is getting scooped up by a lot of realtors that do this. A lot of realtors that have 15, 20 properties in their portfolio. Again, good for you, and you're making a lot of money. Your greed is destroying our communities. Kids can't buy houses anymore. And rents are just it's such a game. Let's see, if mortgage is going to be $1,500 for them, I've got the cash to buy it to keep that payment low, so I can charge just about what it would be for them to have a mortgage. But they don't have a mortgage; they're giving me the rent money, so they don't have to
pay the PPI or PP or the mortgage insurance.
They're not building any equity at all. So it's really hard right now for kids to save money, unless mom and dad have money to help you out, to get that down payment, to get the ball rolling. It's really difficult right now for young buyers to do the thing that most of us did. Really, I mean, when I say really hard, I mean nearly impossible. And when I do help a first-time home buyer out and they're buying a $175,000 house, Travis, it's not a house like yours. It's not a house like yours. A $175,000 house right now is a house that you would walk into and go, this place is more than $80,000? Yeah. Yep. And a part of that is because a lot of properties have been scooped up by corporations. We have a bunch of rental properties, and that's not good for our community. It doesn't show community strength. It is a consolidation of the wealth. And it bothers me. It is something I am the Jerry Maguire of the real estate world, dude. I'm the only one that stands up and says, hey, this ain't right. This ain't right. I understand. Congratulations. You've done well. and somebody needs to pat you on the back and give you that gold star and tell you you did good, you're making money. Now please stop, because it's not one person. It's not one corporate. And if one person stops, a corporation just steps into their place.
Yeah.
I'm just warning people, this is where things are going to get bad. This is one of the places where things are going to get really, really bad, because rents are crazy high.
And that's where I think I was hit up yesterday, is that the postcard that came to my house was not from a realtor. It was just a plain white postcard. I'm like, oh, you're just one of these, hey, I want to come in, I want to buy your home, and I'm going to do whatever. Either buy it for the tax assessed value, which, I've got a 2.75% 15-year mortgage right now. I'm not getting rid of that loan to save my life. I mean, I couldn't replace. Everybody's like, you should sell. You have all this equity. Yeah, I'm pretty hahappy in my home, right? I mean, that's
and chances
no way
are
I'm
your house
selling.
is just going to continue to get worth more and more money.
Yeah.
So it's a scary thing. It's a scary thing. And then the number of times I sit in a meeting and I hear people talk about this, like, well, this is the way you're really supposed to do this. If you're a realtor, you're really supposed to become a landlord. And then you've got to do that, because then you make mailbox money. These people, I mean, we have people that are making $1 million a year in their home, and they're still buying up properties because that's the mode that they're in. That's this Dave Ramsey thing of like, all right, I need more, I need more, I need more, I need more, I need more. It's destroying the communities around us.
Well, and where I think realtors have an unfair advantage is that they see homes way before they come on the market, or immediately they'll go, I'm just going to buy that one. I'm not even going to let that go on the market.
I've got a couple that I'll be listing here in the next year or two that I probably should do that. Should probably just go in and say, hey, what are you wanting to get for this house? Here's what I think it's worth. Here's what I think it'll sell for. I will just buy it, and then I'll make it my rental property. There's a couple that I should probably be doing that with. And again, I don't fault people for doing that and making, and then you've got, because with real estate, man, it's tough. You know this, Trav. Well, you've never been fully self-employed like this.
No.
You got to go out and kill to eat, dude. You got to go out and kill every day to eat. And then when you don't kill, or the phone stops ringing, man, it makes nights long. You lay in bed at night and God starts to say, hey, dummy, get to work, McFly. So when you can calm that down by having that rental property, and you've got that consistent income coming, again, I don't fault people for that. Where I think it gets over a tipping point. And I really do think that corporations owning rental properties is something that is a black mark on our society, and it hurts us more than we can even acknowledge. It hurts us. It raises
and overinflates the market.
Yeah, exactly what I was just getting ready to say. It then raises your property values because all these places are selling. There's games that Blackwater can play that you can't play. They can buy up an entire development of homes, Travis. Sit on those homes for a month or two, and then sell some of them at a jacked up rate to another corporation that they own, thereby raising the value of every one of those other homes inside of that development and every house around it. So now even buyers that go in and go, all right, we got $300,000. Let's go buy a $300,000 house. That ain't what it used to be. $500,000 home. I sell $500,000 homes often. I'm in $500,000 homes often. And at one point in time, that was like, oh my gosh, $500,000 home? Now that's a house in Altoona. That's an Ankeny house. It's a nice Ankeny house. It's not, you don't walk into it and go, oh my God, this is $1 million property. That's a nice house.
515-517-2303 is the number to call. Coming up in a little bit, after the break, I want to talk more about the college football buyout situation. Of course, lots of money has been thrown out. Ross, right now, through the college coaches that have been fired this year, $169 million in buyouts is the projected number this year. Of that, 4 are 8-figure buyouts. Are we making a bigger deal? And I just want you to ponder this. Are we making a bigger deal out of the buyouts than what they actually are? We hear the initial sticker shock, but are we going, oh my God, how could you pay all this? But there's always fine print that can ease the sticker shock. And we see it, and it didn't happen with Jimbo Fisher, but it's happening with Kelly. It's happening with James Franklin, and we can talk about that when we come back. 515-517-2303 is the number to call. A quick reminder, though, it is 6:25. You're waking up. You're going, you know what? I'm kind of hungry. I'm kind of hungry. You know where you should go? It's Big Sky, because Big Sky bread is just the perfect stop this morning, Ross, for a cinnamon roll. Look at the temperature outside right now. Just look at it, and you walk into Big Sky and you go, I think I'm going to have a cinnamon roll with that icing on the top.
When they brought those to us we went and picked some up for the event at Central City. Oh my God, dude, they're so good. Everything there, sibling rivalry is Big Sky sibling rivalry. They're going through that name change. Everything there is fantastic. The granola, I love the granola. The bread that they make is off the charts. The cinnamon rolls are a perfect way to start the morning. Yeah, go pick up a bunch of them, take them to work. You know what a hero you'd be?
You would be a massive hero. Do yourself a favor. So tell me, I didn't know this. They're going through a name change? They're changing their name?
Yeah, they're changing their name to Sibling Rivalry.
I like that because you got the brother-sister combination right there. So that's really good. But even though the name's going to change, the quality, the taste, everything is not going to change, and you will not be disappointed, especially with cinnamon rolls that you can take to the office today. It is the Rush Radio Show powered by Willis Automotive.
The Rush Radio is now on the free TuneIn app, allowing you to enjoy the show on Apple products and Android Auto. Download the free TuneIn app and search The Rush Radio to take Travis and Ross wherever you go.
Your house wasn't built for bats, birds, or raccoons, but try telling them that. At Bats and Bugs Pest Solutions, we've been helping Iowans take back their homes for over 20 years. We use cost-effective, eco-friendly methods to solve wildlife and pest problems the right way. Whether it's bats in your attic, birds in the vents, raccoons in your chimney, or moles in your yard, we have long-term solutions. Call Bats and Bugs Pest Solutions today at 515-218-3400, and let's make sure your home doesn't become their home.
There's more Iowa in the Iowa Tap Room than you may realize. Housed in a building nearly as old as Iowa itself, the Iowa Tap Room greets you with a harvest of 120 Iowa craft beers on tap from all corners of the state. And the food doesn't get much more Iowa than this. The Iowa Tap Room, all Iowa beer, one amazing place.
There's always something new at Fong's Pizza. The patio is open and ready for you, your friends, and an ever-changing menu of tiki drinks. Or try our new noodle dishes alongside your favorite slice. It's all happening this summer at the new Fong's in the East Village.
Thinking about buying a home? Get pre-approved in 30 minutes with Gary Presnell at Northwest Bank in Des Moines. Gary offers first-time home buyers programs, VA, FHA, IFA, and conventional loans. Call Gary at 515-975-6767 or find his profile at nw.bank. Member FDIC Equal Housing Lender.
You know, Brian, at Central City, we really do have the best selection around.
I know. High-quality stuff. You can't find anywhere else.
Whistle Pig Plantation Rum.
Yeah, and over 150 of the best scotches on earth.
And a ton of bitters, mixers, and more.
You know what we are? High class.
Definitely high class, yeah.
Make way for the natty.
Okay, maybe medium class.
Central City Liquor is home of the 10% cash coupon.
And the Wooden Nickel program.
A fuel choice that even rivals can agree on? Now that's worth the hype. Cheaper, cleaner, and homegrown. Pump it up with Unleaded 88.
After Hawkeye football games this fall, Travis and Ross are right where they belong, with you taking your calls and giving unfiltered feedback. Right after Hawkeye football games, it's the Black and Gold Rush on the RushRadio.com, the TuneIn app, and on YouTube.
Why'd the car thief get caught?
Why?
He took too many breaks. Why couldn't the mechanic work on his motorcycle? Because he was too tired. What do you get when you bring your car in for service at Land Rover Des Moines?
What?
$100 off tires. Right now, through the month of October and November, we're offering $100 off select tires. No tricks here, just great deals.
You got me falling hard, sweet baby. You got me falling hard for you. It's you. I felt this way before. You know it's true. It's you. You got me more and more. Oh, you got me falling hard.
Back like a rash you thought was gone. Travis and Ross aren't contagious, but they are addictive. It's the Rush Radio Show, powered by Willis Automotive.
Welcome back to the Rush Radio Show, powered by Willis Automotive. Speaking of Willis Automotive, Ross and I are going to be there on Saturday morning. We're cutting a TV commercial. Soon on the Rush Radio Show, you're going to see myself and Ross in a Land Rover Defender going over the course. You excited for that?
Yeah.
I'm going to put you in the front seat. I've already done the course, so I'll sit in the back seat. You sit in the front seat because it's totally different perspective in the front seat.
I figure they're just going to let me drive. I'm pretty sure they're going to see my skills, and they're going to go, you know what? You should be behind the wheel. Aren't they?
Maybe on like the fourth time through.
I don't think they even the fourth time through. They're going to be like, we got this. You just buckle up.
I went through that. I recently bought a Defender from Willis Automotive, and they took me over the course in the Defender that I purchased. And I'm like, I'll never do this. I know Jeep Stud's listening right now going, oh, come on, man, you got to do it. I'm like, I don't want to bring my car through that. I mean, it's really cool that it can do some of the things, but it's like, it scares the crap out of me. But yeah, Ross and I are going to be up there on Saturday going through the road course, and we get to show you some of that and what that's like, and that'll be coming up soon on the Rush Radio Show, powered by Willis Automotive. Really for the last several weeks, starting with James Franklin and then right into Brian Kelly, we've talked a lot about the buyouts in college football. And I'm just asking you this question, Ross, because I got to thinking about it and wondering if these buyouts are more like clickbait. And just hear me out, okay? And that is, yes, they are a lot of money. And as I mentioned before we went to the break, the total buyouts for all the coaches right now that have been fired is $169 million. The bulk of that is Brian Kelly at like $54 million and James Franklin at $49.5 million. So the bulk of those, and you have Billy Napier, I believe, is $21 million. Mike Gundy is $15 million. The other ones are reasonable buyouts when it comes to a buyout for getting fired with no cause. But the reason I started going, okay, these figures get people fired up, and rightfully so. You see these numbers, you're like, you're getting paid this much for not coaching. But if you look at both Franklin and Kelly's contracts, yes, that's their buyout. But according to their contracts, they are obligated under contract to search for additional work in football or media to mitigate that cost. So we don't really know what the true meaning. If Brian Kelly gets a job next year, let's say Penn State, LSU may not have to pay anything out, right?
Might have to pay $0.
Yes. Or might have to pay like $5 million, right?
Okay. That's a big difference.
Well, but $5 million is a lot better than $54 million.
Okay, but hold on. This is my pushback on all of this. You can't have it both ways, because for months we were told $20 million to pay the players. $20 million to pay the players. We're going to go broke. We can't have it both ways. Because you were one of the ones that told me, hey, man, this $20 million, this is a huge expenditure for these every one of these athletic departments. Hell, not everybody can afford that. I mean, you've got teams that aren't going to be able to even pay the guys that much money. And now, so hold on. Now you've got all of these universities piling up multi-million dollars, even if it's $5 million, that's multiple millions of dollars that you're paying somebody to not coach your team. Don't give me this bullshit of, well, man, that $20 million, oh my God, where are we going to come up with it? How are we possibly going to continue this endeavor? We're all broke. That's the tone that comes out of these athletic departments. And then on the backside, they fire a guy and pay him $50 million, but maybe it's only $5 million. Okay, so then if he ends up with another job that pays him $7 million a year, then he won't get paid the $55 million that he's promised not to coach. But this is all done by the exact same athletic departments that tell us, we need your money. We need your money. In fact, we not only need all of your money, we're going to go and sell this thing to a corporation so that we can get $2 billion for all of it because we can't afford any of it. It doesn't. At some point, we all have to stand up and go, this is bullshit. This is bullshit. And I've been the first one to say, hey, guys, we're all being lied to. We're all being lied to. They just want more of your money, and this is the way that they get more of your money, is to say, we need it. Do you guys want to win or not?
This is where I think we need to reach out to Jamie Pollard and get him back on, because I need clarification on how this all works. And just hear me out and what I'm thinking and why I think it's not apples to apples. Just hear me out. Is that the $20.5 million is coming directly out of what you're making as an athletic department, right? The buyouts most likely come from donors who can contribute strictly to that. Now, this is why I don't like the Deloitte thing. To me, you have the $20.5 million that comes directly from athletic department revenues. I don't think you're allowed to funnel in money from other donors into that.
You don't think that donors are allowed to help pay for the NIL stuff?
No, that's above and beyond the 20.5. So yes and no. The 20.5 is a direct expense, the way I understand it, of the athletic department and the revenues. What it goes above that is the NIL that has to go through Deloitte, which I'm not a big fan of Deloitte. So that is whether or not you have an active enough base to contribute to that NIL to get through the Deloitte thing. So I agree with you, but I don't think it's as simple as what you're making it out to be.
I don't think it's simple. I want to be clear about that. I don't think any of it's simple. And I think that it is very complex, and that's why these people make a lot of money, because it's very complex. And you're right, Travis. I also think that some of it's intentionally, just like school funding. When people try to tell you, oh man, school funding, it's so complicated. Oh, so you can't explain it. That's what that means. When somebody can't explain something, it's because they don't understand it. Travis, if you've got, we got to cut through the. You're right. Is there a shell game and these mental gymnastics they can do to make it so that you don't understand it and that it doesn't make sense and that they can constantly go, yeah, you're just too stupid to understand. You got to have an accounting degree to figure out how to do this stuff. Dude, I'm watching what happens. When they need the money, they make the phone call and get the money. When they need the money, they make a phone call and they get the money. You're not broke if you're a phone call away from $50 million. You're not broke if you're a phone call away from several $1 million to get a coach to not be your coach anymore. You're not broke. So I'm constantly going to say, hey man, you can't allow people to run a dichotomy on you like that and say, oh man, how are we ever going to afford it? Oh yeah, by the way, there's this money. How are we ever going to afford, guys? We need you to buy stuff from us. We need dollars. Okay, here's several million so that you don't have to be here. And it's not like these are just the Alabamas and the LSUs of the world that are doing this. It's not. We've seen it over and over and over. So these athletic departments have access to cash, dude. Cash. It's gross. It's gross. The money thing is gross in college. It's a college sport. Coaches should not make that much money. They shouldn't make that much money. It's insane. Because the reason that these college contracts are so high is because we're still operating under the illegal system. The coach,
you could almost compare it to what we were just talking about with the housing thing, in meaning that it's supply demand, and if you're going to pay it, it's like, okay, I'm going to overpay for a property, but I'm going to rent it. So what I'm saying is, Brian Kelly says, "Oh, you want me to be your coach? Here's what I am. If you want to pay it." And what that does is that overinflates the market over time.
And that's what happened. That's exactly what I'm saying. For years, they couldn't pay the players, and they had to spend all the money. So the coaching contracts are what went crazy. We all remember when it used to be an arms race for locker rooms. And Clemson was putting $1 million slides in the football office because they had to spend the money. They found a way to get the money so they could spend the money. But that was all under the illegal system where they couldn't pay the players. So coaching contracts got inflated. So now all of a sudden they say, okay, we can't keep breaking the law anymore. Supreme Court caught us. We got to start sharing some of this wealth here. You think the coaches are going to take a pay cut? Think the athletic directors are going to take a pay cut? Because you're right, Travis. They all are in that world where it's like, well, I'm Brian Kelly. Don't you know what I'm worth? It's very obvious you're not worth what they were paying you. They had to fire you. And I love this thing of you're also right, Travis. You do use all the right words. I can't argue. When you're fired and there's no cause. The cause was you sucked. The cause was you didn't win as much as we were expecting you to win. I shouldn't say sucked.
Yeah, he won 71% of his games.
Some of them didn't suck, but he didn't win enough, Travis. He didn't win enough. You weren't good enough. So I don't know what word you want to use for that. I'd say let's cut through the noise and use some mean language. You sucked. You weren't good enough. It's not that you made too much money. I've been fired for that. You made too much money and the corporation's going broke. We got to cut you loose. That's not what this is. None of that has been this. None of that has been, hey, we got to fire this coach because we got to hire a guy that will do this for $500,000. If we can get a coach that'll do this for $500,000, then we can actually. None of that is this. If universities were doing that, I would go, man, they're getting broke. They're really starting to tighten the belt strings here, aren't they? They've got to figure this out. None of them do that. So
it would be interesting if the NCAA or even Congress came out and said, and they would probably never do this because of the market we live in, that said, hey, if you're going to fire somebody, you can't go to a donor to take care of that. That would change a lot of things, right? If you said, hey, you can't make a phone call and all this has to come out of your normal everyday budget. That's not going to happen, but that would change how rapidly these guys get fired and what those buyouts would be.
Dude, but I think we're in that world right now of college sports where you can make any rule you want.
That's fair.
It ain't going to matter.
But let's go to my original question. And I want you to take and that is the initial sticker shock. And we get mad at that, but we never hear what the final buyout is, right? I think that would, and you're right, $5 million is still a lot if it got negotiated down to $5 million. But I think people automatically see $49.5 million. They see $54 million and like, that's it. When in the end, it may be zero. It may be $2 or $3 million.
I don't think it's ever zero.
And that's fair. That's fair.
I don't think it's ever zero. In fact, I'd be surprised if it's not at least 20% of the number that we hear. Maybe in some of those rare cases, 10%, where you've got a Brian Kelly who's getting $50 million buyout. Maybe his next job, he gets, they have to pay him $5 million. Maybe there are situations like that. I don't think it's ever zero.
But there's a difference between $54 million and $5 million. You would agree with that.
Yes, but we're still talking about a guy that got fired.
I would say a lot of people that get fired, not everybody, but I would say a lot of people that get fired get a severance pay.
Yeah.
Now your severance pay wasn't $5 million, but you got paid additionally after you were gone from iHeart, which was they were under no obligation to do that, but they did it.
After 20 plus years of working there, they gave me 3 months of a portion of my salary.
Yeah. Which So it happens where people do get a severance pay. But I just look at the number itself, the overall number, and we never hear what that final number is. We hear the initial number, and we go, and we just automatically assume that he got $54 million when he may have got $10 million, which is still a lot of money, but it's for a donor or for whatever. You are now. There are certain contracts. Jimbo Fisher got his guaranteed $76 million. He didn't have that mitigation clause. Billy Napier is getting all $21 million because they didn't have that clause in there. James Franklin has a clause that says you have to go look for a job in media or in football, and if you don't look for a job, we can then sue you and try to recoup some of that money. Same with Brian Kelly. But it's just that initial sticker shock that we go, oh, my God, this is a ton of money, which may or may not be fully put out.
S. Williams says, do real estate agents make too much money? Yes. Yes, S. Williams. This is why when you go to sell your house, call me. I'll explain it all to you, how it's a scam. How you don't have to pay 3% of your equity, of your sale price, your money, to a real estate agent that's representing you and should have some sort of fiduciary responsibility to you. Yes, is the answer to your question. See, you thought you got me there, didn't you?
See, this is where
oh, no, real estate agents don't make. No, they do. It's a scam. It's an absolute scam. And you should not pay a real estate agent 3% to represent you, to take your money to sell your house.
Well, let's use my mom's property that I just sold, right? It was on the market for less than 12 hours, and I had to part with 5.5-6% total for. Now, granted, I didn't have to do the paperwork.
Yeah, right.
But what was it worth? 12 hours and almost $11,000 worth of fees.
Think about that. Think about that. You paid $1,000 an hour.
Essentially, yeah. Now they're going to say, "Well, we helped you stage it." No, you didn't. We cleaned the whole thing up. You put a basket of fake fruit on the table. Thanks for that.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to complain because it sold very quickly. But there was a point to me like, man, after you sell it, you're like, I would have liked to have that equity to spread out a little bit.
This is great. Tyler says, I had a buyer for my house, so the realtor charged 2.5% instead. Tyler, you had the buyer.
To me, that's for sale by owner, and all you did was the paperwork.
Your realtor absolutely should have said, dude, you've done all the work. I'll run the paperwork stuff for you. I'll charge you 1% to do that for you. Or a flat fee. You didn't need a realtor at that point. You needed a lawyer. And what your real estate agent did was take your 2.5% and then hire a lawyer.
Wow, you wouldn't do that, right? If somebody said, "Hey, I already have a buyer. I just need somebody to."
The number of times I've done that, Travis, and said, "Terrific, you did it. You did it. You don't need me. You don't need me. You don't need my market. You don't need the MLS. These are the things that I was going to offer you. You don't need my marketing. You don't need me to take pictures of the place. You've done it all. Here's who to call. You don't owe me a dime. Here's who to call." Then I've done that. I just did this the other day with a client. Called and said, "Hey, my neighbor called and said they want to buy my house." Terrific. Because the only thing that I was doing to help you with was to help you sell your house. You sold your house. You did it. You're going to have to pay some people, and I can eliminate a lot of that hassle for you. I can consolidate some of this work, and I'll do that for a limited fee because I don't have to get out there and hustle to try to sell this thing for you, and you get to save a lot more of your equity now. It's your money. It's your money. And then I'd also remind people of this. You know what a real estate agent is? We passed an online course. This thing of realtors who think that they are like, they offer some sort, and they will sell that. I know my worth. Stop it. Stop it.
Now, does Mark Charter ever get mad at you for talking like this?
Mark says, "Hey, remember, you got other coworkers in the office." Remember that other realtors will listen to that. Somebody said earlier, like, dude, you better shut up. They'll come after you. Oh, they have. They have. We go into meetings a lot where one of the agents in the office is like, "Hey, I did a deal with somebody and they asked me if I knew you and they did not talk very nice about you." Oh, yeah. Probably.
Back to college coaching. Do you think anything changes moving forward with the attention on these exorbitant buyouts? Do you think athletic directors now they're willing to? I don't think the pay goes down. I don't think that's going to happen. Do you think the payouts change with the attention that's been really thrown on the buyouts of James Franklin, what's been thrown on the buyouts of Kelly?
Yeah, I think that, yes. I think that there's a bubble that's got to burst there at some point. But Travis, it's probably going to take a lot of turnover to do that because you still have a lot of those Brian Kellys in the world. Brian Kelly is using that line. I know my worth. You want me to take a pay cut? I know my worth. I'm worth $7 million a year to coach your football team.
And something that happens, and I forget who said this. It was somebody on like ESPN or Fox who said, okay, Texas A&M fires Jimbo Fisher, gives him $76 million. Everybody's going, oh my God. But now you look at Texas A&M, they're undefeated, they're ranked number 3 in the country, and you go, oh, that was worth it. You know what I'm saying? They're going, that $76 million is worth it because we're winning, we're number 3 in the country, we're most likely going to be a college football playoff team. Boom, return on investment. And that's not good for the system either. Sure, you want to win, but
at what cost?
But at what cost? Yeah. And that's what justifies it. Crazy thing is, the athletic director at LSU is the one, he hired Jimbo Fisher. He didn't give Jimbo Fisher the extension that guaranteed all that money, but he was the one that hired Jimbo Fisher at a huge price and then also hired Brian Kelly at LSU. At some point, you have to be held, responsible money-wise as an athletic director going, hey, what are you doing here? You've been responsible for 2 coaches that have tabulated between themselves almost $140, $160 million. That's nuts.
It's crazy.
You might not be very good at hiring coaches.
And then, Travis, here's the thing. They often don't. It's a search committee. We hired a search committee. We paid somebody else to do the job for us.
Which I don't understand. I get it when it comes to college presidents and stuff like that because but if you're an athletic director and you have to hire a search firm, and I get it. Sometimes a search firm is used in loose terms that just to keep names quiet, right? I do believe that most athletic directors know who they want and would like to coach, but to avoid like email chains, Freedom of Information Act, you use the search committee to do that and keep those names quiet. I get that. But if you are actually just using a search committee to find your coach, you're not very good at your job because every athletic director will tell you that I've got 5 names written in my desk of who I want.
They should. And again, look at, I love the Burger McChick. Ask the Des Moines Public Schools about hiring search firms. Yeah, because oftentimes what happens is the search firm has an incestuous relationship with one of the candidates, or sometimes the search firm tells you not to hire a person and you do it anyway. But you paid them.
It'd be interesting to see how many more people fire coaches this year. And we talked a little bit about it yesterday, but if I'm a university that is of high stature, meaning you're in a Power 4 conference, I don't know if I would fire my coach, even if you're thinking about it, just because your pool of selection is getting less and less and less.
Dude, but, Trav, I think, there's going to be that vacuum that happens, right? You're right. You're going to jump into a really busy market there when you start to get a coach because their phones are going to be ringing. Any coach worth his salt right now, their phone's going to ring at some point because of all of this vacuum that's going to happen with moving coaches. So there's 2 things there. Number one, you're probably gonna have to overpay for a coach right now because that's what schools are going to be doing. Schools are going to try to get their guy and win, and I think they have to pay a lot of money in order to do that. They have to pay the guy more money than the job he was at, and they have to pay that school to get that guy.
almost significantly a lot more money to get a guy to leave their school, right? And that's why you look at Iowa and Iowa State right now, and even though, Iowa State hasn't lived up to maybe what we thought they were going to do with 3 consecutive losses, it's still a stable, right? I mean, you don't sit there and go, I worry about Matt Campbell. Yeah. This is where you appreciate stability of Kirk Ferentz and Matt Campbell.
Let's say, dude, I've heard a lot of people for a long time, people have said, man, is Kirk Ferentz going to be done? Is Kirk Ferentz going to be done? And I've heard this week, people have said to me, do you think now that he's got the coaching record that Kirk Ferentz steps down? Dude, if he does that now, if he does it in this climate, and here's the other thing though, Trav. Will this be better in a year? A year from now, do we have just as many Power 5 jobs that are open? It seems like there's a lot right now.
I believe we will. I believe the system we have now, which is 12 college football playoff teams, it's not going to change. And that is, they expect in a 2, 3, 4 year, 4 years maximum that you better be competing for a college football playoff. I don't think Purdue feels that way. I could be wrong. I don't think Northwestern feels that way. But I don't think Iowa really feels that way. But there are certain universities, LSU, a Texas A&M, a Texas. I mean, if Steve Sarkisian doesn't make the playoff this year at Texas, after starting the season number 1, you don't think he's going to be on the hot seat?
Dude, haven't I heard that? Weren't you the one that told me he was actually putting the feelers out about going back to the NFL?
Well, he had to come and do defense yesterday, and he said he called out. He goes, I don't know where that person got, and he went into full denial mode. He goes, I keep my circle small. Whoever put that out there, that did not happen, right?
That's a line from Tropic Thunder. When Ben Stiller is being an actor being interviewed, they said people close to you say that you're really worried about this movie, and his line is, somebody said they were close to me.
I just watched that the other day. You're right.
That's what that sounds like. Steve Sarkisian. Somebody close to you said that you're looking at the NFL. Somebody said they were close to me. I don't have close to me. There's nobody close to me. I'm gonna keep a tight circle.
515-517-2303. That's the number to call. Joe Woodley, head coach of the Drake Bulldogs, going to be joining us at 7:30. It is the Rush Radio Show.
Speaking of a guy that makes too much money.
What do you think is buyout? What do you think is buyout?
Name? Oh man. This is I would like to ask him this question. I know he's focused on this season, and I know Coach Woodley well enough to know he's laser focused on Saturday. His phone has to ring at some point, right? I mean, and I'm not saying to be the head coach at LSU. I don't mean that. But like as these things start to move around, somebody's got to look around and go, "Damn, this dude wins."
I think. Well, it's kind of like Lance Leipold at Kansas, right? He won at Whitewater. And it took several national championships for somebody at Buffalo to go, I think we're going to take a chance on a Division III guy. And Buffalo fans were like, we're going to Division III. Then he wins at Buffalo. And then that gets you into that rotation where, Kansas is, we're going to hire Lance Leipold. I think a lot of people are looking at Joe Woodley right now and going, okay, he won a lot at Grandview. Let's see what he does at Drake. I don't think it happens after 1 year, but if he wins back-to-back or 3 straight conference titles at Drake, then you kind of go, what's that next move, right? Is it a scholarship FCS program? Is it a MAC school? Is it something like that?
Yeah,
I'm with you, Ross.
What I'm thinking.
Yeah, I mean, Dr. Rob told me the other day, he goes, I look at Woodley as a Signetti-type guy. Just Google him. He wins. Where sooner or later, you just got to go, hey, there's a pattern here, and it doesn't matter what division he's at. Yeah. The guy just wins football games.
And even if he's got the best players. He's recruiting them. And I know Drake here, he's taken over Coach Stepsis' roster, but he's built a great group of coaches. Anyway, something that I've thought about.
The Iowa Lottery has launched, of course, the new Iowa Blackout Scratch Ticket. This is your final chance to win tickets to an Iowa football game from the Iowa Lottery. It's almost here. Enter a non-winning Iowa Blackout Scratch Ticket into your VIP account via the Second Chance promotion before 10 a.m. on November 5th for a chance to win tickets to the game against Michigan State on November 22nd. You could win 4 stadium seat tickets, a parking pass, Hawkeye merchandise, and $250 in spending money. See IowaLottery.com for details to get entered. It is the Rush Radio Show, powered by Willis Automotive.
The Rush Radio is now on the free TuneIn app, allowing you to enjoy the show on Apple products and Android Auto. Download the free TuneIn app and search The Rush Radio to take Travis and Ross wherever you go.
You've got enough on your plate, so when it's time to reset, grab a Fresca. Bold citrus, zero sugar, zero caffeine. Just clean, crisp refreshment that never goes out of style, whether it's post-work, post-gym, or just a break from the noise. Fresca's got your back. Pick up a Fresca at your local retailer today.
Your house wasn't built for bats, birds, or raccoons, but try telling them that. At Bats and Bugs Pest Solutions, we've been helping Iowans take back their homes for over 20 years. We use cost-effective, eco-friendly methods to solve wildlife and pest problems the right way. Whether it's bats in your attic, birds in the vents, raccoons in your chimney, or moles in your yard, we have long-term solutions. Call Bats and Bugs Pest Solutions today at 515-218-3400, and let's make sure your home doesn't become their home.
Hi, I'm John Linares with Willis Lexus, and fall is upon us. If you've been thinking about getting a new ride, now is the time. We have interest rates as low as 3.49 on select models. We have a $469 per month lease on ES Hybrid, and we have early deals on 2026 models that are just arriving. You can see our great inventory at willislexus.com, but I invite you to stop in and visit with our sales consultants for more details. Your new Lexus is waiting for you.
After Hawkeye football games this fall, Travis and Ross are right where they belong, with you taking your calls and giving unfiltered feedback. Right after Hawkeye football games, it's the Black and Gold Rush on the rushradio.com, the TuneIn app, and on YouTube.
A fuel choice that even rivals can agree on? Now that's worth the hype. Pump it up with Unleaded 88.
The largest selection of German beer in the world? You'll find it at the Hessen House. From Doppelbocks to Oktoberfest to Hefeweizens and Dunkels, there's no passport needed for the deliciously different beer and food at the Hessen House. So grab your friends and make it a fun night out. The Hessen House, 4th and Court, Des Moines.
You know, Brian, at Central City, we really do have the best selection around.
I know, high quality stuff you can't find anywhere else.
Whistle Pig Plantation Rum.
Yeah, and over 150 of the best scotches on earth.
And a ton of bitters, mixers, and more.
You know what we are? High class.
Definitely high class, yeah. Make way for the natty.
Okay, maybe medium class.
Central City Liquors, home of the 10% cash coupon.
And the Wooden Nickel program.
Back like a rash you thought was gone. Travis and Ross aren't contagious, but they are addictive. It's the Rush Radio Show, powered by Willis Automotive.
Hour number 2 of the Rush Radio Show, powered by Willis Automotive. Happy Tuesday, everybody. If you're listening on the audio stream at therushradio.com and the Rush Radio Android app or the TuneIn app, it's a free TuneIn app, especially if you're using your Apple device. Thank you so much. If you're watching on YouTube this morning, hit that subscribe button. Go ahead and like this video and start leaving your comments in the comment section. And, of course, you can follow us on X, Facebook, and Instagram. I'm Travis Justice. He's Ross Peterson. We're here till 8 o'clock today. Joe Woodley going to be joining us at 7:30. We'll talk a little Drake football. And we always talk about life with Joe Woodley. You know, who knows where our interviews go? Usually, more times than not, they're not about the actual sport. We get into other things. But I'm with you, Ross. I'm going to ask him, do you have a buyout at Drake? I mean, if another school calls, or if you were to be fired without cause, are you owed just like a year? I mean, and are you on a multi-year deal? I mean, there's a lot of questions to ask there because it's all different. It's all relative. I mean, Obviously it's different at Iowa State in Iowa than it is at Drake, but you're still You want some backup or some security if you're a coach.
Yeah, definitely. That fair questions. Yeah, I do other stuff before we get to Coach Woodley, though. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So did you?
Yeah, we're a half hour away from that.
Yeah, you put something in the rundown, and I saw some people commenting about Iowa State cross country. What's going on?
I got it. I got a couple emails. I was actually surprised that people were interested in Iowa State cross country because, let's be honest, full disclosure here, Ross and I are not up to the cross country world. Tip. I mean, we don't follow college cross country. I don't follow high school cross country. I don't follow cross country at all. All I know is that my nephew Oscar made the high school state meet for Louisa Muscatine. Okay, that's all I know is that my nephew made the state tournament or the state meet. Apparently yesterday, several members of the Iowa State cross country team, which was ranked number 1 in the country, were suspended. Now, they're not giving a reason why they were suspended. They're not telling us who was suspended, but you have the Big 12 meet coming up this weekend in Lawrence, Kansas, and that's probably where we're going to find out find out who was suspended. There's a lot. I got a long DM last night on Twitter, and I'm not going to say who sent it, but kind of went into the rumor mill. I don't feel comfortable even mentioning the rumors because I don't want to throw something out there and have it be
smart.
Yeah, and do that. But it's one of those things where timing's weird. I do wish Iowa State would, if you suspended somebody, you should probably say who you suspended.
That's weird to me. That's weird. I think, Travis, it creates more questions than anything. And conspiracy, our brains fill those questions in with weird stuff, the worst stuff.
Yeah, when you put out a release saying, hey, yes, members of the Iowa State cross-country team have been suspended for violation of team rules. Okay, that's where the brain goes crazy. That's where you start making stuff up in your head. If this happened on football, basketball, we do the same thing, right?
Yeah, and honestly, with football or basketball, it would be kind of odd for them to say, hey, we're suspending a player. Which one? We're not going to say. The why is one that they keep quiet, especially when it's team rules, stuff like this. They can play that thing of like, well, it's an internal thing where it was a team rule. It's something very personal. We're not going to mention it, but here's who's not going to be active on Saturday. I didn't know that they were the number 1 ranked. I'm with you, Travis. I knew nothing about. I knew Iowa State had a cross country team. It's the extent of it. I didn't know that they were the number 1 ranked team in the country. I didn't know that they're coming up on the conference meet part of the season. All of that is strange. The timing of it is weird.
Here's why. And again, I'm not doing it for our purposes. The truth is, Iowa State or any of these Olympic sports, right? I mean, outside. Let's use Iowa for example. Let's use Iowa State. Women's basketball, football, main sports, right? Iowa, wrestling, women's basketball, football. Am I missing one that garners a lot of media attention?
Yeah.
So you think you can hide when something like this happens. So, well, nobody talks about this anyway. Nobody pays attention. Well, obviously people are paying attention. I was actually surprised at how many people reached out to us to say, hey, are you guys going to talk about this? Does this make the editorial content? And it makes it the editorial content just based on you've suspended somebody. You're one of the best teams in the country, and you say violation of team rules, and you don't tell us who's been suspended. I agree. When it comes to violation of team rules, there may be something legally or whatever. It's kind of like a HIPAA violation. If you want to keep that internal, but I don't know why you don't say who's been suspended. You're going to figure it out come Saturday anyway when those people aren't running.
Aren't there, right.
I mean, to me, that's PR. I mean, who gets in a room and says, okay, and nobody probably, I think what happened was you had, these people who in the running world, and it's a tight-knit community. And you had a magazine who got wind of it, reached out, and they're like, how'd these people even... Truth is, nobody probably even would have found out about this unless the rumor mill didn't start going to inside that running world and because it's not like KCCI and WHO or WOI who had stories on this morning. It's not like they're covering Iowa State cross country, right? It's not like, it's being talked about. So you had somebody in that tight knit and niche world go, hey, we heard about this, so we're going to break this news. And they were like, oh my God, somebody's paying attention to us. We thought we could just scoot this under the rug. So yeah, tell them we suspended somebody, but we're not going to tell them who. And we'll just say for violation of team rules.
Yeah, and Trev, I don't know that it's that nefarious. I hope that there's not somebody that's in a room that thinks, hey, we can keep this under wraps. I think that I don't think that. I think that they just are, because again, they're in the cross country world. They're like, nobody gives a crap about us.
And that's what I mean is like, okay, unless they ask, we don't have to say anything, right? It's not like you're going to, if this was football, you would have to put out a statement saying, hey, because you're going to have the injury report if somebody's not going to play.
But even Matt Campbell has played fast and loose with that.
Yeah, that's true.
So
that's true. Okay, you're right. Maybe not nefariously, but I would think that a cross-country coach and whoever's running sports information going, hey, unless somebody asks, we don't have to say anything.
Yes.
Because, and so there's that subconscious, we'll suspend them.
And also, listen, let's just call it what it is. There's not a lot of investigative journalists running around up there inside the Iowa State Athletic Department.
There's not a lot of investigative journalists running around Des Moines, period.
You're right. Not a lot of information gets out of Iowa City that they don't want to get out. Not a lot of information gets out of Iowa State that they don't want to get out.
And that's not a knock on the journalist. It's really, and hear me out, it's more of a knock on the corporations that own these that cut numbers so bad and just want immediate content and don't give them the time nor the money to actually do an investigation.
And a lot of times fans don't even want the dirt. The dirt's for the people in the grandstands. The people that really care, they just want to be fed the good information. Just tell me who's hurt their ankle in practice. They don't want the real. They don't want the dirt. They want to be fed the good stuff because they love their team. So,
unfortunately, and this isn't a knock. It's just the truth. It's cross country. So deep down, do I care? Not really. Not really. Am I curious why they were suspended? This is going to sound bad too. Not really. I mean, this is the most we'll ever talk about college cross country ever, right? I mean,
and that's crappy for them. That's crappy for any fan of it to go, man, nobody cares when we're the number one ranked team in the country, but all of a sudden some sort of minor scandal, which we don't even know it's a scandal yet. Don't know what it could be. Did they stay up? Did they miss curfew the night before? I think it's probably something bigger than that if it's gotten to you.
Yeah.
I think it's probably something bigger than that.
If the rumors, and again, I'm not going to repeat them because I don't want to get sued, and I don't want to put something out there that somebody said, well, the Rush said this, even though we'd be repeating a rumor, it would be worth talking about. But again, I don't know if it's true or not, so I'm not going to sit there and work in the rumor world. Now, just because I don't want to deal. If it's college football, I'm probably dealing in the rumor world because those rumors tend to get out there more when it's the college football world. It's like plastered all over the place. Cross country world, I don't know much about it. Yeah. I just know you run a long way and you do it faster than I could ever do it.
I couldn't even tell you who the coach is.
No,
don't know nothing. Know nothing about it. So, yeah, interesting. People, enough that people were reaching out to you and telling you what they were hearing. So that's.
Did you get any emails too, or did you just see it on the rundown that I threw it out there today?
No, saw it on the rundown that you said. Iowa State cross country had suspensions. I'm like, oh, that's interesting. That was it.
Yeah, I had an email. Hey, any update on this? And I'm like, no update from us. Just kind of what you've learned through. A statement that's put out by Iowa State. But they probably think, this is where I kind of feel sorry for an athletic department, right? You're like, oh, nobody's talked about, we want them to talk about us because we're number one team in the country. Now we're finally going to get press, and it's not for how good we are. It is for what's going on at the Iowa State cross country department.
Yeah.
Carson Wentz out for the season for the Minnesota Vikings. He's going to have season-ending shoulder surgery. Ross, what if the Vikings would have kept Sam Darnold? Sam Darnold, who's now, 5-2 at the Seattle Seahawks. Pretty darn. I mean, they had to make that choice to go, we're all in with J.J. McCarthy. Then all of a sudden, J.J. McCarthy's hurt again. A game 2 into the season. He's missed the last several games. He's coming back, but now they have no backup whatsoever. A team that was very competitive last year, playoff team a year ago, last place in its division. You turn to Carson Wentz. He's now injured. J.J. McCarthy's, you don't really have a backup. You have one backup on your team right now. And you sit there and go, I look at Jordan Love, who got, 3 or 4 years of basically being tutored by Aaron Rodgers. That didn't end the way Aaron Rodgers wanted to, but you look at him and go, hey, is Jordan Love better because he didn't play right away? I think he is. I think because he sat there and watched for 3-4 years, was ready to take over that job. J.J. McCarthy, they expected, hey, you're our first draft pick. We're going to go with you right away. We're going to commit to you. That's a big gamble, especially after you have the season you had last year with Sam Darnold, and then you just let him go.
All right, so the question was, are the Vikings, would they be better with Sam Darnold than they are going to be this Sunday? Yes. Yes. I mean, you're going to be rolling out somebody that you hadn't planned on having as your starting quarterback. So, yeah, they would be better off with an established guy. But, man, this quarterback thing in the NFL, Trav, is so strange. It's so strange. You've got to have the right team around you for that skill set for that individual player. Now, the Vikings were pretty good with Sam Darnold, right? And that was a decent fit. But, man, once he played like that, now there's another team that needs a starting quarterback. You got this commodity. You trade it off. Would the Vikings season have been drastically different if they'd had Sam Darnold when J.J. McCarthy got hurt? I don't know. I really don't.
Would J.J. McCarthy even get hurt because he might not have been the starter? I mean, if you're the Vikings, you had J.J. McCarthy who blew his knee out last year, missed the entire season. You come in and go, okay, you didn't really get to learn a lot during that time. Sam Darnold, you go, hey, Sam, we're gonna give you a lot of money. We're gonna sign you to a 2-year deal, and your job is to win football games and be the tutor for J.J. McCarthy, who obviously is the quarterback of the future. We spent a first-round draft pick on him, but he goes to Seattle and is having the success that's carried. And who would have thought? I mean, Sam Darnold is one of those guys when Minnesota picked him up, it was like, Sam Darnold? Oh, great. Sam Darnold's a quarterback. Then he got with the right team, and he got with the right team again. Yeah, a lot of people thought Sam Darnold was a bust.
He's a bust, just like Baker Mayfield. He's a bust, just like fill in the blank of a guy that didn't start out his career the way that everybody thought he was going to because he was on a crappy team. This is a great comment by I don't even know how to Captain Kirk Hawk. The question is, why is anyone surprised the Vikings made a piss poor organizational decision? That's a good question, because this is typical Viking stuff, mishandling guys. And there's a lot of guys that fit into that thing that you talk about with, that role that you wish J.J. McCarthy would have maybe had, where he could have sat in a backup role. Dude, that's what Patrick Mahomes did.
Yeah.
Patrick Mahomes sat behind was Alex Smith, right?
Alex Smith.
For a couple years.
Yep.
And then they roll him out, and he's good to go. You give him a couple years, you get that team going in the right direction. I don't know what the difference would have been if Sam Darnold were still I know that I don't think the Seahawks would be as good. But
that's fair.
But I don't know what the impact on the Vikings would be.
Do you think it's fair that we expect these college kids to come into the national football? I mean, Joe Burrow had a great rookie season, right? But I would say, I mean, how many guys have a great rookie season as a quarterback?
Not many, dude.
Yeah.
Not many. It's pretty rare. And again, it has less to do with that quarterback than the other 10 guys around him and the defense that he's on, that he has on his team. because when you are a top-rated quarterback, you usually get drafted by a team that has an early draft pick. Why do they have an early draft pick?
Because they suck.
Unless they happen to trade for that pick years ago and now they happen to fall up in the draft. But in that situation, that team usually doesn't need a quarterback. And it's hard for a team to waste a first-round pick on a guy that they say, all right, in 3 years, you're going to be an impact player. There's guys on defense you can draft that are going to start for you next year. There's receivers and running backs that are going to play for you next year as rookies. So the quarterback kind of has to jump into that fray, but the team around him isn't built to handle another 11 NFL players on the other side of the ball. So it's yeah, I'm not sure what the Vikings how things would have been different with Sam Darnold. I know that sounds strange, but
well, I mean, I think the Packers are the best example, and the Packers have been fairly consistent over time, right? Brett Favre, they draft Aaron Rodgers, they keep him on the sidelines for 2, 3, 4 years, and then the separation happens. Of course, Favre wasn't happy about it, and that's ego. I get it, right? You think you're still at your prime. Aaron Rodgers goes through a career, wins a Super Bowl. They draft Jordan Love. Where that was mishandled is they didn't tell Aaron Rodgers they were going to draft a quarterback. And then your replacement is essentially on the sidelines just waiting. It's history repeating itself, but it's worked out for the Packers. And that's why I look at these rookie quarterbacks going, if I'm a quarterback coming out of college, I know you want to play right away, but you're doing yourself maybe a disservice by saying, hey, I got to play right away, expect great things out of me, when you might be better off being a backup for 2-3 years, speed of the game, understand the game, and get really comfortable before you're ready to take over. I mean, hell, Joe Burrow had a great rookie season. What's Joe Burrow done since besides just be injured all the time?
I just about said get hurt. That's what Jim. What about Trevor Lawrence? That's another one. Trevor Lawrence was can't miss, going to be amazing. He's going to be a world beater. Going to change some franchise. Oh, my God, who's going to be lucky enough to get Trevor Lawrence? I've had friends that have said to me, hey, is he a bust?
I don't think he's a bust.
You got to give it time. I say we would have said the same things about Baker Mayfield.
I think I look at it this way. Is Trevor Lawrence, has he produced? In some cases, yeah, but it's the rest of the group he has around him, too.
Amen.
Right?
Amen. It's the team around him.
It's the team around you.
Jerry
Sam
Jones
Darnold's a great example of that last year with the Vikings.
Jerry Jones had a great thing the other day about, man, our defense is one player away. No, it's not. No, it's not. And if it was one player away, you had that dude.
Yeah.
So
I mean, look at the Chiefs last night who beat Washington 28-7 on Monday Night Football. Even though they've lost, 3 times this year, they're still the Chiefs. In meaning, they're defensively, offensively, there's so much there. Patrick Mahomes couldn't do that on his own.
No.
I mean, he's got a lot of weapons around him, and the chemistry is there. Travis Kelce had 6 catches last night, 99 yards, had a touchdown. He tied Priest.
There you go. Tied the record for touchdowns.
Tied the record, yeah. So 89 touchdowns. He tied Priest Holmes.
Wow.
With 89 touchdowns.
I would have thought Christian Okoye had that record.
Gosh, what a name. What a name.
Remember him and Barry Word. Was that the guy's name?
Yeah.
The other running back? Was it Barry Word and Christian Okoye?
The Nigerian Nightmare, right?
Yeah.
You know what they called him?
Yeah, the Nigerian Nightmare.
He was a big dude.
Some other great Chiefs that would have been. In fact, that'd be a fun one. Who are the Chiefs' all-time touchdown leaders? Do you know by chance?
I don't. I know Travis Kelce and Priest Holmes. Wonder where Eddie Podolak falls in on that list.
Okay. How about? Oh man, yeah. Tony Gonzalez.
Pretty good tight end. Not a bad player.
They've done all right. They've done all right with themselves. Let's see. Career leaders for receiving.
And it's just not receiving. I mean, because Priest Holmes obviously was a running back. So these were total touchdowns.
Yeah. And I can't see touchdown leaders. I can just see yardage leaders.
Okay.
And Eddie Podolak, dude, right behind Christian Okoye. Here are the top 5 rushing leaders for the Kansas City Chiefs. Jamal Charles, Priest Holmes, Larry Johnson, Christian Okoye, number 4, and number 5 with 4,451 yards, Eddie Podolak.
Wow. That's why he's in the Chiefs Ring of Honor.
Marcus Allen was down the list a little bit there. Burger McChick asked about.
Boy, how long was Marcus Allen with the Chiefs? I'm just surprised he's on that.
Hold on. I got it up here. He was there from 93 to 97. So
that's actually
long.
longer. Not long, but also, what, 93, 4, 5, 4 years?
Yeah.
I mean, Marcus Allen's always a Raider to me. Kind of like Joe Montana's always a 49er. You forget that Joe Montana played for the Chiefs. It's kind of like Brett Favre going to the Vikings and the Jets, or Aaron Rodgers going to the Steelers and the Jets. It's like, oh, you're at the end of your career.
Dude, I'll tell you what, there's a lot of guys on the passing leaders for the Chiefs that are more known for careers with other teams. It goes like this. Patrick Mahomes by a long ways. Len Dawson second, then Trent Green, Alex Smith, Bill Kenny, Steve DeBerg, Mike Livingston, Elvis Gerback, Matt Castle, and Steve Bono. Not exactly a who's who.
Steve DeBerg, I remember that. It's probably my age group. I always remember him with the Chiefs. Elvis Gerback, that. You know what I know Elvis Gerback from? Michigan. Not a pro career by any means. But yeah, the Chiefs won last night, 28-7. They've won 3 straight, now 5-3 on the season. Don't forget that here in Iowa, we grow corn. But the truth is, corn grows Iowa. Corn benefits the entire state. It feeds our livestock, nourishes our family, and provides homegrown, clean-burning, unleaded 88 for our vehicles. So make sure to pump it up with unleaded 88. We are awaiting the arrival of Joe Woodley, head coach of the Drake Bulldogs. Drake at home this weekend to play Butler in a Pioneer League game, and Drake all by itself atop the Pioneer League standings. It is the Rush Radio Show, powered by Willis Automotive.
I'm loving these wooden nickels, Brian.
Yeah, I suppose everyone is catching on.
Just spend $20 to get a wooden nickel.
It's 25.
Collect 10 and add up the savings on your next purchase.
Some of these are worth $5. That could be huge.
I know, right? That's why you have to spend $20.
It's 25.
Collect 10. It's like money back to you.
Spend 20, you get another wooden nickel.
It's 25.
Collect 10 and add up the savings. It's huge.
Central City Liquors, home of the 10% cash coupon.
And the wooden nickel program.
It's huge.
Hey, Blake Warlock here with Mini of Des Moines, here to share some excellent deals that we have going on for the month of October. On the 25 Countryman, Mini is offering an APR down to 0.9 at 48 months. Lease special on the new 26 Countryman, $379 with just $4,400 down. 26 convertibles, great lease special as well at $469 with only $4,000 down. Stop in and visit your favorite Mini motoring advisor or visit us online at miniofdesmoines.com.
You've got enough on your plate, so when it's time to reset, grab a Fresca. Bold citrus, zero sugar, zero caffeine. Just clean, crisp refreshment that never goes out of style, whether it's post-work, post-gym, or just a break from the noise. Fresca's got your back. Pick up a Fresca at your...
After Hawkeye football games this fall, Travis and Ross are right where they belong, with you, taking your calls and giving unfiltered feedback. Right after Hawkeye football games, it's the Black and Gold Rush on the RushRadio.com, the TuneIn app, and on YouTube.
Missing a quality, home-cooked meal? You know, the kind Mom used to make? Lucky for you, we found her recipe book. Welcome to the High Life. Welcome to the Champagne of Bars.
Every business has priorities, and Priority One Heating and Cooling is no different. As a service provider, we prioritize quality air conditioners and furnaces that will keep your home at your comfort level year-round. As a small business, we prioritize doing things the right way and treating people fairly. As a truly local business, we prioritize our community. As a veteran-owned business, we prioritize duty and commitment. For big business service with local value, trust your home to the place where you are always Priority One.
Hi, I'm Bradley Ollinger here at Willis Nissan. Now until October, we are offering buy 3 tires, get the 4th for $1. Take advantage of this deal right now before winter. Go online today at willisnissan.com to schedule your tire placement today, and we'll see you on the service drive.
Rush, strong opinions, weak filters, and just enough sense to stay on the air. It's the Rush Radio Show, powered by Willis Automotive.
Welcome back to the Rush Radio Show, powered by Willis Automotive. Happy Tuesday. Coming up this weekend at Drake Stadium, they're going to be taking on the Butler Bulldogs. It's the Bulldogs against the Bulldogs. And now joining us,
a lot of Bulldogs out there.
A lot of Bulldogs out there. Who's got the better looking Bulldog? I think Drake has the better looking Bulldog.
Well, they have the most beautiful Bulldog. Just ask.
Yeah, that's the most beautiful Bulldog. Joining us now, is it still dark outside?
Yeah, it's pretty dark outside here in Des Moines.
Dang.
Yeah.
Coach Joe Woodley, what's going on, Coach?
What's up, guys? I got to correct you first, Travis, because I don't want any of our fans showing up to the stadium this week, and we are on the road. We're in.
All right. Why did I think you were at home? You know what it was? I was looking on the schedule, and it was one of the internet ones, and it had you on the bottom. And normally the bottom team is the home team, so
right.
That just got confused.
So I apologize. I thought you were at home, but you're on the road. So do you fly to Indy or do you bus to Indy?
Yeah, this is one of the tougher ones of the year. We're like a minor league baseball team this weekend. We're hopping on a bus. So.
Ugh.
But tell you what, I'm pretty excited to go do this, for obvious reasons. But I talked to Justin on his show last night, and I said my childhood is going to come out in me. You go on these road trips, and I always tell the team, hey, this is a business trip, and we're going there to play a football game. But I got to be honest, I'm going to have to sneak a peek at that Hinkle Fieldhouse, man. Hoosiers. That was my movie growing up, so I got to make sure I see that on this trip.
Now, will you take the whole team there, or will you just kind of sneak out of the hotel?
Well, I mean, I'll do it. I mean, I believe Hinkle Fieldhouse is right next to the stadium, so when we get there, I'll just go. I'll go sneak a peek and shoot there. They might even be in basketball practice, or they might have something going on that morning. Hopefully, I'll be able to just at least get in and. Take a look around. I know. I think my brothers did it. Not that Indy's. I mean, I'm sure I could have done it 100 other times just because I've been to Indianapolis plenty of times. But I know my brothers did it when my dad was coaching at St. Ambrose back in the day. I know they got a sneak peek at Hinkle Fieldhouse. So wouldn't quite call it a bucket list item, but certainly one of those things. Again, just reminded me of my childhood and watch that movie before that final scene before about every basketball game I played as a youngster. So got to see it up close and personal this weekend.
What a great! When you make the free throw, and you will make the free throw.
No chance. Oh, well, you're talking about the movie line. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, you'd make a free throw, Joe. I gave you enough opportunities. I know you'd hit one.
I was thinking about getting one of my coaches and putting them on my shoulders and making sure the rim's 10 feet. All that good stuff.
Did you play basketball, Joe?
Through my sophomore year, I did, and I'll be honest, it's one of my bigger regrets in life is not continuing on because I know I look like a wrestler and a catcher and all that. That's what everybody always tells me, but believe it or not, I actually wasn't too bad at hoops back in the day.
Oh, I believe you're a natural-born athlete. Yeah. I mean, I expect you to be good at like everything you do.
They are. I guarantee
I don't know I wouldn't go quite that far, but
are you good at ping pong?
I'm not bad at ping pong.
See,
I'm not bad.
That's the ultimate tell right there. If a guy's actually, who's the best ping pong player between you, Andy, and Matt?
I'd beat them all. Yeah.
Are you good at horseshoes?
I haven't played it enough. Like bags and cornhole or whatever it is we call it here in Iowa. We've had some pretty competitive games of that in the family in the past, but I wouldn't say I'm bad at it.
Who plays horseshoes? What 1940s family did you grow up in?
I know that.
Yeah.
My dad's told me stories about my grandpa. He's left-handed like me, and he was good at all those call them barroom games, if you will, and but yeah.
I thought I was good at foosball till I played somebody that was good at foosball.
You know, in the good old days, you'd go to a city park in like Manning, Manila, Avoca, these small towns. There would be horseshoe like rings. You'd line them up, and you'd see like 4 or 5 horseshoe rings where people would go play horseshoes. And I promise you, Ross, somebody in the chat will say, "Hey, I play horseshoes."
Yeah,
I play horseshoes.
I'm not saying that they won't. But it's not going to be a lot of people.
It's a small town.
It was a weird one for you to be like, "Oh, how about are you good at jacks, Joe?" You are good at coaching football, brother. Let's talk about that for a minute, okay? Because we've actually kind of mentioned your name a few times just about this coaching world, man. You're figuring you've figured it out again here with Drake. Now I know that you took over a really talented roster. You've talked about that here on the show. We lost Joe. We lost him.
Well,
he didn't want to answer the hard questions. That's
he didn't
what
want to answer the hard.
He was like
afraid
of the. I was bringing the heat.
Bringing the heat, coming to talk about none of this. He was okay with horseshoes, but once we got into football,
that's right. I'm done with that nonsense. Here he's coming. He'll hop back on with us.
I don't know. It's just there. It is.
Sorry about
Where'd you
that,
go?
guys.
No, you're fine, buddy. You're totally fine.
No, my wife called in. So.
It wasn't an emergency, was it?
No, I better. No, I didn't answer it. I was trying to stay on the show, but I'll have to warn her next time I come on. It's the first time somebody's called me during this, so I apologize.
No
Sorry
worries
if I
at
missed
all.
something there.
No. I was just asking you about. I mean, I guess the question really is, what's the secret sauce here, man? What have you what are you dialed into that you've found such success here? First of all, we should start with that. Do you feel like the season has been a success so far? Has it met your expectations? Are you meeting your expectations?
I think so, Ross. I mean, we are getting ready to play. Saturday's November 1st, and if you're playing meaningful football games November 1st, or I should say, if you're in the race for a conference championship in November, that usually means you've kind of done what you've set out to do to this point. But there's still a lot of football left to be played, and we know that, and it starts with a very tough game, this Saturday with Butler, and a team that's been really good here in recent history, and certainly this year's no different. They've had a lot of success this year, and a really good football team, and they're at home. They're coming off a bye week. They've got a lot of things to be playing for too. They have one loss in the league, and we're the only ones left that kind of control our destiny, and that's kind of where you want to be. But they also feel like they can control their destiny, if they're able to beat us, because now that puts us in the L column, and and then it would be a complete dogfight, because there's a lot of them with one loss right now. So, like I said, still a lot to be played, but certainly proud of what we've done to this point. And it's been to be perfectly honest, I feel like we could be in this position absolutely because of what these guys have done the past couple of years, and that was one of the things that was really enticing to me about coming over and taking this job, is these guys all expect to win, and that's one of the harder things to do in coaching. I mean, I think we all do to some degree, but you gotta go out and do it, and this program has been doing that, and and again, it hasn't been easy. It takes time, and we had to speed some things up here on our end, and because we're still trying to earn trust of these guys, and and that's not easy to do. So, but it's been pretty good to this point, is all I can say.
So what do you mean you're still trying to earn trust? And I'm being serious here. I mean, all you've done is really won. You're sitting at unbeaten. What more trust do you have to earn? I would get it if you've lost like 3 or 4 games, but I mean, the proof's in the pudding. What kind of trust are you talking about there? I'm just curious with that answer.
Yeah, I just think there's more to it than wins and losses, Travis. And we in all honesty, we've only been here, whatever it is, about 10 months or so, and you just can't microwave this thing when you're trying to build a program. It doesn't just happen overnight. You can't speed it up, and I do think we're getting there. Yeah, and success certainly does help. I could certainly start feeling some things after we went out to San Diego and won out there on the road. I just feel like, I don't know, validation's probably not the right word, but you could just feel that they're okay. These guys look like what I thought. This is how we want our football team to look and play like, and you can sense it a little bit. Like I said, I think we're getting there. But again, yeah, I mean, you guys look at anything in your life, nothing happens that fast that's worthwhile. It just takes some time, and and like I said, we're slowly getting there, and that's a credit to our guys. Because sometimes I just think that can be hard, and I think you're seeing it across the country in college football, and it does. It just back in like when Kirk Ferentz started his program, man, that took some time, and you just don't get that kind of time these days, and you can see what it's done for him, and and how meaningful he is to that program, and how much all those players care about him, and those coaches that have all been there for so long, and same thing with Iowa State and Coach Campbell and what they're doing over there. It just and those are just two really good models of programs that a lot of schools should be looking at and how to do things, and that's the feel you want. That's really the feel you want. It's not necessarily about the wins and losses, and certainly I felt like we got to that point over at Grandview, and that's the tough part of taking on a new job, a new position. You just can't speed things up, but certainly the success, like I said, certainly helps that, and again, a lot of that is, if not all of it, is our players. We've got a great group, and we've had some adversity with injuries and those types of things, and guys have just stepped in and kind of just kept things going for us.
I think you've nailed it there, Joe. You were fortunate. You came with a culture, man. You'd come with a winning record. You brought that culture over to Drake, but you took over a nice roster that could compete in this Pioneer League, and it kind of takes all those pieces. We were just talking about quarterbacks in the NFL. How, man, we're so quick to call these guys busts when they just aren't in the right fit. And then you see a guy like Baker Mayfield. He bounces around a little bit, and all of a sudden he's on the right team, and Baker Mayfield's not a bust anymore. You are smart that you're fortuitous to take over a nice roster, but dude, you deserve a little bit of that credit too for bringing that culture over. We've compared you to Curt Cignetti. Just Google Joe Woodley.
Yeah, just Google it. Just Google it.
Please don't.
There's probably not much to find except your win-loss record. Have you peaked yet? I mean, is your team, is it in full stride right now, or does it still have room to pick up steam?
Yeah, I think any coach would tell you, we haven't peaked, but I've made the comment to our guys, it was probably after practice the last couple of weeks, and just use the visual aid. I just did this. I feel like we're on an upward trajectory right now, because we certainly inherited a lot of good players. Don't get me wrong on that, but we've had to bring in a lot of new pieces as well, and trying to figure out how to use those guys. And we had a lot of guys. I would say more so it's on the offensive side of the football. There wasn't a whole lot of experience returning, across the board. And again, like I said, we had some adversity with the quarterback position for a good amount of time, and now we're kind of settling in. We're playing a true freshman at quarterback, kid that our staff recruited in January, and he's really starting to kind of figure some things out, and now that he's kind of been the guy for a couple weeks now, rather than being forced into action, we've approached practice with him being the starter, and he's just done a really good job. And like I said, I just continue to see him get better, and in turn, I think everybody around him does too, because we're all trying to figure out the best course of action for what our offense needs to be. And then on the defensive side, certainly they've played. They've gotten us through some games because of how well they've played, and I think they'd tell you this past Saturday, we give up 17 points, and they're pretty disappointed, because they had some moments where we didn't play the best, but again, then the offense kind of complemented that, and And but I fully expect us to. I don't know that we've played our best football game yet. That I do know, and I'm excited to see when that'll happen because I know it'll be really special, and we're going to need it. Starting this week and through the rest of the year. And again, I'm just excited that again, like I mentioned at the beginning of the show, that we're just playing some meaningful games here in November, and you wouldn't want to have it any other way. And that's usually the goal of any coach when it's this time of year. And and this is a really neat group to be around. It really is. And guys that go out to practice every day and really they buy in. They're really starting to see the benefits of what they've been doing. And again, we've just tried to be as consistent as possible. And I think that's the best thing you can do when you're new, when you're a new staff, and not be so up and down and bipolar, what have you. It's just trying to be a model of consistency, and we have. And sometimes it's boring and pretty tough. But like I said, I think they're starting to see what that, those daily, just boring habits can really lead to success.
So Ross yesterday brought up the story of the North Texas quarterback, a kid that never started a high school game. The only game he started was like a B freshman team, and now he's the North Texas quarterback. You've got a quarterback that's a freshman starting, and we joked that that kid's not going to be at North Texas next year. Do you worry about people going, oh, he's got a freshman quarterback, he's winning, and I don't want to call it tampering, but do your players come to you and say, "Hey, I'm getting recruited, coach"? Do they come to you and tell you if they're getting recruited?
I haven't experienced it to this point. I think
that's good.
I think there was probably a little of that when I took the job back, in December of last year, and it was, and they again those were a little bit rumor, but somewhat understandable that time of year and the day and age that we're in. And I would like to think our kids would come to us and tell us that. And but yeah, I suppose it creeps in your head a little bit. But at the end of the day, I want guys that want to be here anyway. And I guess I'll die on that hill, if you will. And because we don't live in that world. We're not in that position for bidding wars and all that. And I think once you start going down that road, I think it's pretty slippery slope. And I just firmly believe if you treat people the right way, they're going to want to be a part of, whatever it is that you're doing. And Drake's such a unique place anyway, as you guys both know. It's FCS, it's Division I, but it's non-scholarship. Kids come here for a specific reason. And, and that's not to say it's not going to happen. I'm not numb to that. And I get it, but I think it is such a unique place, and because there's a handful of guys on this team, upperclassmen I know that probably could have went to some places. Well, we did have one kid go the Roosevelt / Dowling, Finn Claypool. He went out to Fresno State a year ago, but I look at a kid like that. He was a graduate. He graduated from Drake, so. If you start getting into those types of things, those I understand a little bit more. But as far as what we have in this program, I don't anticipate it. But again, I've been fooled many times before, unfortunately, with these types of deals. But you can't. I'm not going to sit and worry about it. It doesn't make me lose sleep at night or anything like that. And again, I just prefer to coach the guys that want to be here, and and I feel like that's probably the best way to go about it.
What other challenges does a freshman quarterback bring? Does that inspire confidence? What else comes with putting a freshman under the center?
Well, his first snap under center was at South Dakota State, the number 2 team in the country, on the road, 20,000 sellout blackout crowd. So when we put him in that game, we're like, oh boy, this kid is 18 years old, and he's going out here against the number 2 team in the country, and all he did was go out and produce. That told me a lot.
Very
he
cool.
made some mistakes, and he made some mistakes, but what the biggest thing that Logan showed me that night was just his poise, kind of under that kind of pressure. I mean, shoot, I was my first first game I played, I was a redshirt freshman, so I was at least there a year, and I was an up back on the kickoff return was my first play. Like, now it did get kicked to me, so so I got baptized pretty quick, but for him to go, be a quarterback in that environment, and like I said, just he just showed me, he showed our our coaches, our players, most importantly, that the moment wasn't going to be too big for him, and that's what I've seen out of this kid to this point. And but yeah, the challenges, I think, always, Ross, are just the inexperience and trying to have that poise. Well, he's got a little bit of experience now. He's played in some pretty tough environments and done real well. But he's still gonna, he's gonna make mistakes, and that's part of being a freshman, and we got to understand that a little bit going in. But he's been awfully efficient, and I think the biggest thing is he's starting to win over his teammates, and just because of how he approaches everything. He's a pretty locked in young man, and just real happy for his success to this point. But like I said, we still got a ways to go, and I'm excited to see his growth. As well as everybody else, in this program, for that matter.
Before we let you go, we were talking about college coaches earlier, and we're going to ask you a personal question. Like, how many year contract did you sign? And if you get fired without cause, do you get like
fired?
Do you get like $54 million?
If another team comes to snipe you, do they have to pay Drake a bunch of money for you to go?
I don't even know if I should be talking about this, but
oh, that's true.
I believe so. I do have an agent, so I kind of leave all that stuff to him. So I guess I'll kind of leave it at that.
Okay,
man,
smart man.
You have an agent. Is it worth the 10%? Is it just, or is it like, here, just read the contract and I'll sign it?
It was good advice from somebody I really trust. So that was kind of the main reason I did it there. Yeah, I never thought in a million years I'd be one of those guys that had an agent, but here we are.
Well, you should. Yeah, that's awesome, Joe. That's really cool, Coach.
Yeah. So, Coach, good luck on the. I hope you enjoy Hinkle Fieldhouse, and I hope you get a win.
Luckily, you're used to bus rides. This is nothing. Bus ride to Indiana is nothing for you.
Yeah, we played Marion, I don't know how many times out there, and so I'm shooting. Ross, I don't think you went. Did you go on the road with us to games? I can't.
Yeah,
I
did a couple times. Yeah.
You didn't go out to Michigan with us, did you? I
never went to Michigan.
It was the only year you were with us, the national title year in 2013. We stopped at. We played out in Michigan, but we stopped at Notre Dame and practiced. Well, and oddly enough, that's Brian Harden was working at Notre Dame, and that's who we reached out to let us go practice at their practice facility. So that was a really neat experience. We were trying to do that this week. We were going to try and stop at Illinois, but they had. They got a home game, and I just think it was too much of a pain for them. But I think we're stopping at some other school in Illinois somewhere, so to get a walkthrough in.
Illinois somewhere. That's a good way to put it. Illinois somewhere.
If it's not Chicago, it's Illinois.
Yeah.
Right.
You mentioned Hoosiers. Is that one? Do the guys on the team know that movie? Do they watch it? Are you introducing them to Hoosiers on the way out there? How does?
Tell you what, I probably need to bring that up. I would sure hope so. My goodness, I mean, now that's old, I guess. I mean, and it even takes place in olden times. I think the movie came out mid '80s, but the what was it, the 1951 or 1952 Indiana state champion? That's what I love that movie, because it's a true story, and those are my kind of deals, like Ross and his documentaries. I love that stuff too. So, I don't like science fiction and all those kinds of things.
Way better than the movies I had when I went out to the national championship in Rome, Georgia with you. You guys, to keep the team focused, they put me on the bus with the cheerleaders.
Oh gosh.
Oh, dude, they watched High School Musical.
Oh my. That was on one of our buses. We were watching.
Yeah.
They put them on there with the cheerleaders and the band
and the dance squad. No, there was no band. It was
no band.
It was all the cheerleaders and dance squad.
Oh, no football players were on it. I got you.
None.
I was going to say they're watching high school music.
No.
Jeez, who did we recruit to Grandview?
Good stuff, Joe. Good luck this weekend. We'll catch up soon. All right.
All right, guys.
See you, bud. Go get
it.
it.
Always.
Thank you, Joe Woodley, joining us on the Rush Radio Show, powered by Willis Automotive. See, even guys, I like to hear that from guys that is like, hey, Hinkle Fieldhouse is a big deal to me. I'm a head coach. I'm in my mid-40s, but you know what? It still kind of means something to me. I want to go check it out.
I think that's super cool. I think that's
So do
awesome
I.
that he's going to go do that, and it will probably mean more to the coaches than the players.
Yeah. Oh, 100%.
Yeah. I bet he's got players on that team when he says, "Hey guys, Hoosiers," they're going to go, "What?" There's a movie about Indiana basketball.
Well, I mean, look at it. Last week we were talking about movies. We had people who'd never heard or seen Slapshot.
Dude, I've been amazed at the number of people that reached out to me and say, "Hey, dude, I never even heard of Slapshot." And some of them I've said, "Oh my God, you'd love that movie." And some of them I've said, "Yeah, you don't need to." You know what I mean? If it's something that I feel like it definitely fits their personality, and I'm shocked. But for some people, I'm like, yeah, it's a 70s movie.
Are we getting to the point where we're going to have people like Field of Dreams? What's Field of Dreams?
Probably.
Yeah. Major League. What's Major League?
Yeah, that'll eventually happen.
Yeah, because, you'll have people, do you watch The Searchers with John Wayne? I'm like, no, I never watched The Searchers.
I was amazed at how big of a deal John Wayne is in Ireland.
Really?
Yeah, we were
that disappointed you did it. You're like,
dude.
oh
man, you know me so well. We're driving along, and my buddy Patrick's like, "Hey, that John Wayne movie was shot at this farm right here." What? He's like, yeah, you don't believe me, do you? I said, no, I'm more. Why do you care? Big deal.
Very big deal. You got Game 4 of the World Series tonight. Let's hope it's not 18 innings. It was a great 18-inning game last night. But baseball doesn't need two back-to-back 6-hour and 39-minute games with how many total pitches last night? 606 total pitches.
Unbelievable.
609 total pitches.
I just had something hit my brain, though, about because you said, well, last night's game inspired more people to watch tonight. Maybe what's going to inspire a lot of people to watch tonight is the fact that Shohei Ohtani had that dynamic performance in his last outing, had the 10 strikeouts and hit a couple home runs. Maybe that's enough because Ohtani on the mound tonight for the Dodgers as they look to go up 3-1. Be a shame if the Dodgers are because this has been a really fun series. The games have been really good. Last night is a great game. It just is a shame that it was on until 3 in the morning.
So there you go. We are back tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. Go ahead and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Make sure to like us and put it in your favorite on the TuneIn app or the Rush Radio Android app. You can always listen to us all day long on replay at therushradio.com. Again, back tomorrow at 6 a.m. It's the Rush Radio Show, powered by our good friends at Willis Automotive.
Body Armor. Real hydration with electrolytes. No artificial dyes and coconut water. Choose better. Body Armor.
With over 260 beers on tap, El Bait Shop isn't just another craft beer bar. It's the best. Beer lovers know. El Bait Shop, 200 Southwest 2nd, Des Moines.
There's a new spin on casual dining near Drake University. Lucky Horse Beer and Burgers. Craveable faves, flatbreads, delicious burgers, frozen cocktails, and a crazy cool vibe. Get to Lucky Horse Beer and Burgers today.
My name's Gary Presnell, and I'm a residential home mortgage banker for Northwest Bank in Des Moines Metro Market. I've been financing people's homes for over 25 years, and I'm an expert in financing VA loans, FHA loans, IFA loans, and new construction homes. This is my cat Norm. Norm knows football, but he doesn't know mortgage. And that's where I come in. There are a lot of Tom, Dick, and Norms out there doing loans. So don't just trust anyone with your home loan. I'm your local, trusted, experienced expert.
Call Gary at 515-975-6767 or find his profile at nw.bank. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
After Hawkeye football games this fall, Travis and Ross are right where they belong, with you taking your calls and giving unfiltered feedback. Right after Hawkeye football games, it's the Black and Gold Rush on the rushradio.com, the TuneIn app, and on YouTube.
What's going on, everybody? It's Bobby here at Willis Volvo Cars. Fall is in full effect. There's $3,000 worth of savings on XC90 and XC60. We have sign and drive, no payment, nothing due up front. Best lease programs we have had in years. So give us a call, click or visit us at willisvolvocars.com. Stop down to the showroom, let us lower your payment on a brand new car. You'll be glad you did.
Bread is made from scratch, freshly baked with locally sourced ingredients and love. At Big Sky Bakery, we take great pride in our delicious products. We know you'll enjoy them almost as much as we enjoy baking.
Looking for the perfect golf escape? Experience links-style golf right here in Ames at Coldwater Golf Links. With rolling fairways, large greens, and unique routing, it's golf the way it's meant to be played. Whether you're a seasoned pro or just starting out, you'll love our course's welcoming atmosphere and friendly staff. Grab your clubs, book a tee time, and make every round unforgettable. Coldwater Golf Links, where great golf leads to great memories. Visit coldwatergolf.com to book your round today.
Back to the Rush. Strong opinions, weak filters, and just enough sense to stay on the air. It's the Rush Radio Show, powered by Willis Automotive.